Breaking news from Japan. Hello my dear viewers, welcome to a new video update. A strong earthquake has struck the Kanto region of Japan, including Tokyo. At least 37 people have been injured, buildings have been damaged, transportation has been disrupted, and Japan's meteorological agency is warning residents to remain alert for possible aftershocks during the coming days. Here is what we know so far. The earthquake occurred at approximately 2 a.m. on Sunday, August 23, Japan Standard Time. For viewers on the US East Coast, that was approximately 1 p.m. on Saturday, August 22, Eastern Daylight Time. The epicenter was located in southern Ibaraki Prefecture, northeast of Tokyo. The Japan Meteorological Agency estimates the earthquake at magnitude 5.9 with the focus approximately 70 kilometers below the surface. The earthquake was felt across a large part of Kanto region. Tokyo and several areas of Ibaraki, Saitama and Chiba experienced maximum shaking of lower 5 on Japan's 7-level seismic intensity scale. Shaking of this level can make it difficult for people to remain standing and objects can fall from shelves. The important thing to understand is that Japan's Shindo scale is different from the magnitude of an earthquake. Magnitude describes the overall size of the earthquake. Shindo describes how strongly the ground shook at a particular location. So, although the earthquake had a magnitude of 5.9, the actual shaking varied considerably from place to place. 37 people injured. According to authorities, at least 37 people were injured across Tokyo and the surrounding prefectures of Ibaraki, Saitama, Chiba and Kanagawa. Most of the injuries were not life-threatening. However, one person in Kanagawa suffered serious injuries. Some injuries occurred as people were suddenly thrown off balance or collided with objects during the shaking. There was also structural damage. Part of the ceiling of the city hall in Ushiko, Ibaraki Prefecture, collapsed. A residential building in Saitama was partially damaged. There were also reports of people becoming temporarily trapped in elevators in Tokyo. For people sleeping at 2 o'clock in the morning, an earthquake of this strength can be particularly frightening because there is essentially no warning that something is about to happen. Tokyo's high-rise buildings swayed. There was another interesting aspect to this earthquake. The Japan Meteorological Agency also recorded long-period ground motion in Tokyo, southern Saitama and northwestern Chiba. This type of movement is different from the short, sharp shaking people normally associate with an earthquake. Long-period ground motion consists of slower waves that can cause tall buildings to sway back and forth for a much longer period of time. The JME recorded long-period ground motion level 2 in parts of Tokyo. That included areas such as Kawaguchi in Saitama, Urayasu in Chiba and parts of Tokyo including Koto and Edogawa. In a high-rise building, these slow movements can continue even after the strongest shaking has passed. People on higher floors can have difficulty standing or walking, while furniture and other objects can move or fall. This is one reason why an earthquake can feel different on the upper floors of a skyscraper compared with a low-rise building. Japan's early warning system activated. Japan's earthquake early warning system also activated within seconds. The JME detected the first earthquake waves at approximately 2 a.m. Japan time. The first automatic calculations followed only a few seconds later. This gave some people enough time to receive an earthquake warning on their smartphones before the strongest shaking arrived. Japan has one of the world's most advanced earthquake early warning system because earthquakes are a constant part of life in the country. The system cannot predict an earthquake before it begins. Instead, it detects the first seismic waves and sends warning while the stronger waves are still traveling toward more distant areas. Even a few seconds can be valuable. No tsunami threat. That is important because the earthquake occurred inland in southern Ibaraki prefecture rather than beneath the ocean. The earthquake was associated with the complex tectonic environment beneath the Kanto region. Several tectonic plates meet beneath and around Japan, making the region highly active seismically. Southern Ibaraki is one of the areas where earthquakes occur relatively frequently. There have already been other significant earthquakes in the region this year, including magnitude 5 and magnitude 5.5 events. The current earthquake, however, occurred on a different plate boundary than those earlier events. Trains were disrupted. The earthquake also affected transportation. Several railway lines in the Kanto region experienced delays as operators inspected tracks and infrastructure following the shaking. JR East reported disruptions affecting lines including the Joban line, Kaitin-Tohoku line, and so on. This is a normal precaution following a significant earthquake. Before trains return to normal operation, railway companies need to make sure that tracks, bridges, electrical systems and other infrastructure have not been damaged. What about Japan's nuclear power plants? Another important question following an earthquake in Japan is always the nuclear power infrastructure. Authorities reported no new earthquake-related problems at the nuclear facilities in the affected region. And now comes the most important warning from Japanese authorities. The Japan Meteorological Agency is asking people in areas that experienced strong shaking to remain alert for approximately 1 week. The risk is considered particularly important during the first 2 to 3 days following the earthquake. Additional earthquakes could occur, potentially producing shaking around the level of the current earthquake. Authorities are also warning that areas already affected by strong shaking may face an increased risk of landslides and falling rocks. So even though the main earthquake has already happened, the situation is not necessarily over. At this point, the confirmed picture is that at least 37 people have been injured. There is no tsunami threat. No new problems have been reported at the affected nuclear facilities, and transportation is gradually being restored after safety inspections. But Japanese authorities are continuing to monitor the situation closely because of the possibility of aftershocks. That was all for today, my dear viewers. See you soon in another video. Take care, stay safe and stay healthy. Bushcraft Bear signing out.